talk about how do we go about requesting for protected APIs form for Teams API. So let me share my screen real quick. Okay, so I'm on the page for Microsoft Teams protected APIs. So you all must be knowing that this APIs are protected and you need to request Microsoft by filling a form and tell them why you need access to this APIs. Okay, so mind you, few of these APIs are paid ones. Okay, so if you're requesting access to this APIs, you need to pay some amount through your Azure subscription. All right, so here we are on the form that we need to submit to Microsoft in order to get access to this APIs. You can get linked to this form from here in the documentation itself. All right, so we'll quickly go through the details that we need to fill in. So first thing that we need is the email address of the owner who is submitting this form. You need to put in your email address. This email address would be considered for the further communication if there is any discrepancy in your form, or either the Microsoft has to contact you regarding anything related to this form. The email would be sent to this particular email address. So you need to careful about the email addresses you put over here. All right. The publisher name. Publisher name can be anything. Your tenant name or your organization name. Okay, you need to put in that. Application name. Application name is the Azure AD application name you need to put in. So if I go back to my Azure app, if I go to my Azure Active Directory and go to the app registrations, you can pick the app that you need this protected APIs access to, and you can copy this name and paste it over here. Now, next thing in the list is the application ID. So you can get the application ID from here. All right. Now the fifth point comes to the Azure billing. So this part basically talks about your subscription ID. You need to put in the subscription ID over here. Mind you, the protected APIs out here are billed and metered as per Microsoft documentation, and you need to put in your subscription ID. So once you cross the threshold value or seated capacity, you would be charged accordingly based on which model you use. So there are two models, model A and model B. All right, the sixth point tells us about the what category of app, uh, what category best describes your application. So we have around 11 to 12 categories. So based on your use case, you can clearly define which category your app fits in. And if you have a certain category that doesn't make up to the list, you can specify other and mention the cause of that particular app and the use case over here. All right. Next thing on the list is why does your app needs access to messages in the tenant? So you need to give a brief on why your app needs access to the sensitive data in your tenant. Mind you, this uh, protected API is exposed to sensitive data in your tenant, and hence Microsoft needs to know why you need access to this data. Now, the last one in the list is data retention. You need to select any one of the options that fits your purpose. And once you are done filling this form, you need to click on submit. Once you submit this form, it takes about 2 weeks for Microsoft to go through the approval process and approve. Sometimes the approval mails are not sent, and you can test your app after 2 months, 2 weeks, sorry, 2 weeks, and hopefully it will start working. If not, you can open a support ticket with Microsoft, and they will help you check the latest status of the form that you have submitted.